Welcome to In the Workshop, repairing an old generator and making it work. And this part is about fixing the base and painting everything. As I mentioned previously, I bought this generator via an online auction site. And with the generator came this thing. This is the original mounting base that the generator was fastened to. And I suppose it's okay. Well, it was okay for the generator as it was, but the generator's got a new lease of life, and at the end of this episode I'll be painting the generator. Now it works okay, it seems to be a good idea to make it look something. It would be a simple enough job to just mount the generator on a nice looking piece of wood, and then I'd have a generator on a nice looking piece of wood. But as this came with the generator and it's very substantial, although a tiny bit messy, I think I'm going to use this, starting off with a thorough clean-up. There are quite a few redundant holes in this piece of metal, so I'm going to fill these up using some car body filler. I could use JB Weld, but that takes 24 hours to cure, whereas this stuff takes about 20 minutes. So to speed up the job, I'm going to use this, and I'm trying very hard not to fill the holes that I need. Although I did fill one or two of them, but I drilled them out, and here I'm just making sure that they're threaded okay. Originally there were some studs in these holes, and they were really tight. But now, after rethreading the holes with a 2BA tap, the bolts are a great fit in the holes. I didn't actually bother videoing how to sand down body filler. I'm assuming that most people know how to do that. I know how to do that because I used to have a 1969 Ford Transit van, which was an excellent van, apart from it was very rusty. So over a very short time I got quite proficient in the art of rubbing down body filler. This is the original base plate that the generator was mounted on. But two of the holes to mount the generator had been drilled in the wrong place, so I plugged these holes. And I did this by threading them 2BA, putting in a 2BA bolt with some Loctite 638, and then once the 638 had cured, I chopped off the bolts and cleaned them on the belt sander. I keep moving the plate so you can see clearly where the holes were. All I have to do now is remark the positions for the holes. Unfortunately, I can't use transfer punches for this because the dynamo body is in the way, so instead I used my normal scribing method using a needle file. Once I found the correct position, I marked out the hole, drilled the hole, and here I'm tapping it with a 2BA tap. Plugging holes is something that a lot of engineers do, and it's something I seldom do. But for the purposes of the video, I just thought it might be interesting to some viewers, just to show what's possible when holes have been accidentally drilled in the wrong place. And once this is painted, the repair will be practically invisible, and in any case, even if the repair was obvious, it would be covered by the feet of the generator when it's all bolted together. In this clip, I'm using 2 loops of silicone rubber fuel tubing on the bolts to act as handles. You guessed it, because I'm going to paint it. And here's the start of the painting process. I'm using etch primer on this. Etch primer contains an acid that bites into the metal, because this part is going to be handled frequently. And this is a very pleasant clip just inside the workshop door, and I call this one Nice Pieces of Metal Painted with Etch Primer just inside the workshop door on a very cold but very sunny winter's day, with the sun streaming in through the open door. And once the paint's dried, actually it took longer than this for it to dry, I give it a coat of red primer, and it gives a really good base for the top coat. And here's the top coat. This is satin black. You will notice that the heavy base is sat on a piece of plywood, and this has been especially cut to sit the base on. The smaller part is sat on the lid of the tin of paint that I'm using. There really isn't much I can say about this type of painting. I just put the pieces on the board, and I move the board and spray the parts. In this part of the workshop, currently it is very cold, possibly a little bit too cold for painting. I took the tin of paint into the main workshop, so that's warm enough to work. It's starting to get quite cold now in the north of England. After all, it's only 4 weeks away from Christmas. So I quickly put together some seasonal music, and here it is. All you have to do now is take your medication and off we go. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful.